Hi everyone. Today's tactical analysis piece will be on the CAF Champions League game between MC Alger and Mamelodi Sundowns. And it was a game that everyone was looking forward to in round two of the Champions League group stages. It was also a game filled with many tactical details, and we will try to cover some of those details in this analysis piece. The key analysis areas that we will cover are match statistics surrounding the game. We'll also look at MCLG's out of possession structure in the 4-4-2 diamond and the flat 4-4-2. We'll also go through Mamelodi Sundowns in possession positional rotations, as well as MCLG's key in possession picture. And then to start off with the match statistics and on the balance of goal mouth action, you can see that MCLG did deserve to win the game as they had more shots on goal and on target. They also had a higher XG. They also created more chances. However, Sundowns did have more possession, which is testament to the team's style of play and how they look to impose that style of play, irrespective of the opponent that they're coming up against. However, they were not able to transmit that style of play into more goal mouth action. Now we're just going to highlight the two teams' structures, and MC Alger in the green in the 4-4-2 diamond, as you see, and Sundowns in the 4-3-3. What we're also going to do is highlight those positional rotations of Sundowns due to the camera angle which we have, which doesn't allow you to see the full complement of 11 players and see what is happening higher up the pitch. And those rotations was more in wide areas between the fullback, the midfielder, and the winger. And those rotations was the fullbacks moving higher into high and wide positions. The midfielders in Allende and Rosinho would move a bit deeper and occupy a bit more deeper positions to provide balance. And then the two wingers in Matthews and Santos who then move inside and occupy attacking midfielder positions between the lines of MC Alger. So let's get into the clips and we can go into that in more detail. And you see Williams with the ball to start off with. So important for Sundowns when they do have the ball. And now we're going to highlight that first structure of the 4-3-3. And as mentioned, we can't see the full complement of 11 players for Sundowns. So we can't see the two midfielders in Rosinho and Allende and the three attackers. So what you see here is the deeper fullbacks and then also the defensive midfielder and Tebogo Mokoena. A very important key detail in this game was the patience of MC Alger in the press. And what they always did was they waited for the first pass to be made and then they activated their press. And the reason for doing that was to be able to eliminate Williams from the game. And then what they also did was they remained very compact centrally in order to force play wide, which you'll see now. As you see there, the pass is made wide. And the reason they did this was to make play predictable. Because when the game is on the side, you have fewer passing options. All right, and what they did very well, MC Alger, was they overloaded around the ball. And how did they create this overload? They created this overload by using the touchline as an extra marker. So you see it here now. It's actually 4v4 in terms of outfield players. But because Mudau cannot play towards the touchline as the ball would go out, he only has options to play inside, which are now limited because it's a 4v4. Also important is Farhat's positioning, where he stops the back pass to Kekana, which doesn't allow Sundowns out from this area and allows for the overload to still be maintained by MC Alger. Bangura then jumps out to Mudau, as you see. And then important is the other two midfielders in Benkemasa and Banahua, who then provide balance and cover. So if Mudau had to beat the press through a dribble or a combination with Rosinho, they are then there to then confront and try and stop progression from Sundowns. However, they regain the ball, does MC Alger, and then it's verticality from there. They look to play forward and forward runs as well, looking to expose Sundown structure. Here you see it again, and before we move on is those positional rotations that we showed on the animations board. You see now Rosinho is in a deeper position, and you see Mokoena also in a deeper position now in comparison to the first club. You also see Allende as the defensive midfielder, so you can see those positional rotations. And then Mudau and Lunga are positioned higher up the pitch, and in order to look to unbalance that structure of MC Alger. You also see Williams part of the in possession phase for Sundowns, as he is very important. But again, the patience of MC Alger's press. No pressure on Ronwin Williams. And then also you see now a bit better their diamond structure. You see the three midfielders plus the 10 in Tapti and the two strikers. And then they wait. patient, wait for the pass to be made as it is now. Once the pass is made, the press is activated. And important is the way Farad presses. He presses into out to stop the back pass to Williams, to not allow Sundowns to use him when they do have the ball. And then also what is important is the midfielders behind them. They are then activated also once the pass is made to then lock onto the players closest to them. Press into out, force play wide, stop the back pass to Williams as we mentioned, and then make play predictable. And then they trap on the side, 5v4 overload again for MC Alger using the touchline as an extra marker. You also see Kekana now, he's learned from the previous clip where he doesn't make the shorter pass, he rather plays longer in fear of losing the ball. They force play long, make play predictable, and again, making play predictable. Why? Because they have an overload on the last line. So you see MC Alger now have a 4v2 overload also on the last line for the long ball and the second ball. So this highlights again making play predictable for them. They win the first ball, they the long ball. They also then have the overload to win the second ball, as you see, and then the verticality again, vertical runs, vertical passes, trying to play forward. Now we'll go through the block, but again, we'll highlight that 3 and 3 of Sundowns, and again, those positional rotations with the midfielders, the fullbacks, and the wingers. You see Allende in that position again, deeper in a fullback position. You see Resinho in that position as well, and Mukwena in the defensive midfielder position. Obviously, out of picture, Lunga and Mudau higher up, Matthews and Santos inverted in those attacking midfielder positions. Also, what you'll see is Williams part of the in possession again. And then again, the patience of MC Alger. There you see now a flat 4-4-2, now Tapti a bit deeper next to Benke Massa. They wait for the first pass to be made, and then Farad, he activates the press. Again, important, the detail, in to out. Forces wide, wants to stop the back pass to Williams, which you see, makes play predictable. And then Bangura, he goes to press Resinho now. And then the opposite striker, he puts pressure on Mukwena. Also important is Benke Massa and Tapti. They then close central passing lines, which doesn't allow Mukwena to play vertical passes into the higher position players, into Santos or into Mudau or into Reyners now, which was also very, very important, the compactness of their 4-4-2 block. They trap on the side, right? MC Alger with a 6v3 overload now with the touchline as an extra marker. So they have double the amount of players to regain the ball than Sundowns do in terms of passing options. Play predictable, no options for Mukwena. There's the regain, and then you see the vertical runs and vertical passes from MC Alger. Can't make anything of it though in this clip. Now, a full wide angle clip of the whole pitch. You see MC Alger in their flat 4-4-2, and then you also see how compact they are around the ball. They very compact, not allowing for line breaking passes that are gonna play central and to break lines or to break units. They force the play wide, which they do, making the play predictable. Once the pass goes wide, they are then aggressive to go and put pressure. And again, you see a 7v5 overload for MC Alger using the touchline as an extra marker. Kekana is obviously out of picture. Also, you see the striker, he stops the back pass again to Kekana, which doesn't allow Sundowns out, which forces them into a predictable pass, which is what MC Alger want. You see there, predictable pass, pressure on the ball again, vertical pass looking to go forward. However, very good counter press from Sundowns in order to regain the ball. All right, and now we're going to go through MC Alger's in possession picture, which they looked for. And we've already mentioned a lot about verticality, vertical passes, and vertical runs. And this is how they also did it when they had a bit of stable possession during the game. And you see it here. And what they did was they used back passes to open space behind. So the throw-in, first back pass. You see the second back pass from Tapti to Abdallawi. And then what does that do? Those back passes then, it provokes Sundowns players to then press up, right? They push up, pressure, trying to put pressure on the ball, slightly late, which they are, right? And then those back passes now have forced Sundowns players or provoked Sundowns players to step. Once they have stepped without enough pressure on the ball, that creates space behind. And those are two key triggers for a ball behind. There's no pressure on the ball and space behind, which is what MC Alger exploit. The long ball goes in behind, the run complements the pass, and Farad should score. You should put that ball away. All right. And that's basically it. Those were the key tactical topics or pieces that I picked up on during this game. If anyone else has anything key that they picked up during the game, please share. It would be nice to see what else and what other people have seen during the game. But also for coaches, if you are looking to deploy a 4-4-2 diamond in your team and create traps on the side, this is a good way of doing it. And if you guys like the content, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I hope that this piece is helpful for everyone. Thanks.